Welcome to the webinar today. My name is Annie Rudin, and I am the founder and kind of lead American accent trainer for the Pronunciation Pro course. So today what we're going to be doing is every 2 weeks we have a question and answer session for all the members of Pronunciation Pro. So I'm glad to have all of you here who are in attendance today. I hope you have come with a lot of good questions for me. They don't even have to be good questions, just any questions. No, all questions are good questions because as you're learning English pronunciation and fluency, it all can be a little bit confusing, but hopefully as you're going through the Pronunciation Pro course, it's helping you kind of organize and focus on the things that are most important to learn step by step. And so that's the idea of the Pronunciation Pro course, is to make sure that it's very easy, it's very structured, and that there's not a lot of guesswork to how you're supposed to go about improving your pronunciation and fluency and your overall kind of American accent. So that's what we're working on today. So this webinar is for all of you who are going through the program and have questions. So this is a chance for you to ask your questions, and then it's pretty interactive. So I will unmute when we come to your question. I'll unmute your microphone, and we can talk and discuss the question that you have. It helps for me to hear kind of what you're doing so that I can give you feedback exactly how to change what you might be doing incorrectly, and also to be able to give you some advice of just what you're doing well on. That's always nice to be able to hear and give you feedback on that. Okay, so for everyone who is in attendance today, if this is your first webinar with me, welcome. Glad you are here. And what we'll be doing is there's a questions box on your control panel. And what I want you to do is get comfortable with that questions box, because we will be going to that question. I will be going to that questions box to address any questions you might have. So if you have a question, go ahead and put that in the questions box, and I can see those. And I do a little introduction, and then we will start going through all of those questions from you. So this question and answer session usually takes about an hour, but just kind of is dictated by how many questions there are, and it all varies depending on who comes to these. So I like seeing so many familiar names here. Welcome. Glad to have you here again. I'm glad that these webinars have been helpful for you, that you come back and for more. All right, well, happy spring, springtime, at least here in the U.S., where most of the parts of the U.S. are experiencing spring. So a lot of flowers and blossoms, and kind of a change in temperature. So that's been nice here. Okay, so this is a little introduction to me for those who are new to the webinars or new to Pronunciation Pro. This is me and my husband and my 3 little boys. So we have Andrew in the middle, and Jimmy is on my husband's lap, and little Luke is on my lap there. So basically, I have my background is I have a master's in communication sciences and disorders, and a national certification from the Audiology and Speech Language Pathology, the association, so American Speech and Language Hearing Association. So basically, the training that I've received is very research-based. So it's how to modify and adapt speech patterns based on kind of based on research-based methods. So we do it's a very structured step-by-step program here in the Pronunciation Pro, and as much as you can, so it's outlined very step-by-step through the program. So hopefully that's helpful for all of you as you're going through the course, to have it lined up that way versus just going on to maybe YouTube and watching free videos that are all kind of randomly placed, it helps to know, okay, here's the first thing you need to work on. Here's the second thing, here's the third, and so on and so forth. Now, there are different levels in the Pronunciation Pro course and different levels of being able to get feedback from myself and my other trainer. So you can go on to the pricing packages and pricing page to see things like a full accent assessment that you can get, or there's the basic program where you go through the videos on your own, and then there's the plus program where you can submit weekly assignments to a trainer to get feedback on that. And then the premier package is when you meet live with your trainer. Okay, so take a look if you're interested in a little bit more than what you're doing now. Go ahead and take a look at the pricing and packages page on the Pronunciation Pro website to get a feel for that. Okay, oh, I did have to include this cute picture because it doesn't happen every day that all of my boys are smiling at the same time. So I was loving this weekend. Okay, so this is a couple of the team members here at Pronunciation Pro. We have Gideani, who helps with our kind of emails and account issues, and Andrea works with a lot of our Plus and Premier clients so that you can get that feedback. She's also a speech-language pathologist and has many years of experience, clinical experience in helping people change their speech patterns and improve their overall fluency and really just their presence. It's this program is very much a professional development program. We talk about pronunciation and fluency and the rules of pronunciation, but then we also go into presentation skills and overall how to just be a more effective speaker. So that's all part of this this program that you're a part of right now. All right, so the first question that was emailed to me, and actually this was the only one that was emailed to me this time, but it's from Sunny. And Sunny, I see that you are here on the call, so I'll go ahead and unmute you right now. Sunny, you there?
Hi, Annie. How are you?
Great to have you here again.
I like your long hair, and your boy are so cute.
Oh, thank you. Okay, well, good. So you had a few words that you were needing help pronouncing, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go through these, and I'll kind of share with you. So you just kind of wrote a list of words that you were concerned about, and I kind of grouped them into categories for you. So there's kind of some common threads throughout it. So online and line, and really, Sunny, I'm sure that has to do, remind me, had you emailed me about that N sound, the ending N and M, or was that somebody else?
Yeah, I think I did. Now this situation had the L and the N together.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of giving me trouble here.
Yes.
And then N told me that's that I couldn't say it clearly with those two.
Yes. Okay, so that's going to be common for a lot of the Asian languages. It's those long vowels, the L, the long vowel, and then the N or the M at the end of a word tends to really be a difficult one to get your mouth into place. So, so do this one for me. Line.
Line.
There you go. Line. Okay, now do online.
Online.
Mm-hmm. So we have both the N right here, L and N. So that can be tricky to kind of get your mouth in all of those.
I kind of put more emphasis to the N sound. Is it the L sound? Did I say it in the beginning?
So yes. So what happens online? So what happens is that on kind of closes off the sound, online, and then we kind of there's kind of a jumping off with the L. So your tongue comes in and goes online, line.
Online.
Mm-hmm. So
online.
Okay, so do it all connected. Online.
Online.
Yep, so get that ending N. That's the only one I wasn't hearing very well. Online.
Online.
Mm-hmm. And we've talked about it
online.
before. It's those ending sounds for you that you really want to make sure that those
Yeah, I know.
endings get on there, right?
Now I'm be more aware of the ending that I'm not producing. Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so that especially the N sound, because that tends to be for any of, a lot of the Mandarin and a lot of those Asian languages, it's that ending N sound that a lot of my students have a hard time getting that completed at the end of words. Okay. All right. So then the other one, this is another one that ends in the N sound. So phone and alone.
Phone alone.
Okay, so you're getting that N in the right position. Phone alone.
Phone alone.
Please pick up the phone. Say that for me.
Please pick up the phone.
And then he'll be alone all weekend.
He will be alone all weekend.
Alone all weekend. So remember again, when I'm talking about those ending sounds, so you got that ending sound really clearly, so that was great. But just as a reminder, when we're trying to get those ending sounds on there, you want to link it to the next word, right? Alone all weekend.
Yeah, so the stress there too, right? Alone, he will be alone all weekend.
Yeah, so that would be a stressed one of the stressed words. Alone all weekend.
Alone all weekend.
Good. So getting those ending sounds are the most important.
Alone.
Okay, so I'm happy to hear too that you're getting those long vowels nice and clear. So you're getting a really good long vowel on those. Okay, so here's another couple of words that have the long vowel. So rain.
Ring.
So that long A, for some reason, that long A tends to be difficult with the N right after it. So rain.
Rain.
Do it again.
Ring.
It's supposed to rain later today.
It's supposed to rain later today.
Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So we got that long vowel, long A, and then the N. Okay, so the next one. Yeah, go ahead.
When you pronounce, I'm learning the V and the R sound. So when you have to say, so you have to say that, make sure your tongue in the right position before you say the word.
Yeah, so if the R is at the beginning of the word, is that what you're talking about? Ray.
Yeah.
Ray. So instead of R, kind of when it's in the middle, you kind of do an R or ear right there. But when it starts with the sound, you go ruh. It's kind of like ruh. Rain.
Rain.
So I kind of put my hand back here because it kind of bunches up in the back. Rain.
Rain. Rain.
So I'm hearing a good R there. So really, do that for me. Really.
Really.
Do it again.
Really.
Okay, so there was a little bit more lips on that one. I was hearing really, really, and I want less lips and more tongue. Really.
Really. Really.
So it's more, the R sound is more engaged. If your lips are kind of more engaged or more stiff, then it's going to sound like a W sound. Wah, 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 wah. Okay? But if your lips are a little bit looser and you have that tongue that's really tight in the back, rain, really.
Ring. Really. Really.
Really. I am really happy.
I'm really happy.
There you go. Perfect. Yep.
Thank you.
That's exactly right. Okay. So then another one, pregnancy. Pregnancy. Do that one for me.
Pregnancy. Annie, Andrew told me that I didn't pronounce the G in there.
Oh, okay.
Together.
So pregnant.
Pregnancy.
Okay, so what you're probably doing is pregnancy instead of pregnancy. So it's not like a very strong G. It's not like you go pregnancy, you know, it's pregnancy. So there's basically what your tongue is doing is in the back of your throat for a G sound, that back of the throat kind of g. Do you feel where your tongue hits the back? G. So basically your tongue's going to come up and kind of touch the back of your throat and then come up for the N. Pregnancy.
Pregnancy.
Yeah.
Pregnancy.
Do it again.
Pregnancy.
More tapping on the back. Pregnancy.
Pregnancy. Pregnancy.
Preg. So do this one. Preg. Preg.
3 syllable.
Yeah, so it's 3 syllables. The first syllable is the stress syllable.
Okay. Pregnancy. Pregnancy.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
So and then the important thing is hearing it. So when you hear kind of the difference between pregnancy, and pregnancy, pregnancy, then you're going to be able to catch that. So just kind of listen for that G at the end when you're saying it. Okay, and the last one, beverage.
Beverage.
Okay, so do this one, ver. Yeah, getting from that V to the R. Beverage.
Beverage.
There you go, good.
Beverage.
Will you pass me a beverage?
Will you pass me a beverage?
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Beverage. Good. So then with these words, it's a matter of practicing it, you know, kind of saying it over and over again, put it in some short sentences like we were just doing, and get your mouth comfortable with that movement and listening for it. So like we just talked about the pregnancy, so you want to be practicing it and really focusing on, did I get that G in there? Do I hear that G? Okay?
Yes.
And do I hear those ending N sounds especially?
I need to make sure that I able to do all the sounds, like to sound the word correctly.
Right.
Yes.
So especially those multisyllabic words that are a little bit longer, like pregnancy, getting those middle sounds in there and not dropping out some of those sounds.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, here, do this one for me, Sunny. When you say pronounce, let's get the endings at the end. Pronounce.
Well, thank you. Pronounce.
There you go. So those ending sounds, okay?
I have to be more careful now. Thank you.
But you're coming along. I'm really happy with it. Good job, Sunny.
Thanks.
All right, good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and address the questions you have here in the questions box. So any questions you have there, we only have a few right now, so make sure that you're writing in there. I am going to go, Charlie, we're going to go ahead and address your question. And so Charlie, you have a question about the R sound. So let's actually go through the R. Charlie's asking, how do you bunch the R? The back of my tongue seems weak. So let's get that R. Let's kind of address that R sound right now. While we're doing this, if anybody else has questions, go ahead and write those in and we'll get to it. Here we go. Okay, so let me unmute you, Charlie. Hi, Charlie. How are you?
Hi, Annie. I'm good. How about you?
So good. So good. I'm glad to finally talk to you. I know.
Likewise.
Yep. Okay. So the R sound, is there any specific, like the initial R, vocalic R, or the R blend that seems to be more challenging?
For me, it's the vocalic R.
Okay. All right. Let's go to that R. And the reason I break it down, into those 3 R sounds is because for some, because the tongue, there's a little bit of a shift depending on which R it is. And sometimes some people can do the initial R and the R blend, but the R vowels are difficult and vice versa. So, okay, so let's go through some of these vocalic R's. What I like to do is kind of compare some of these vocalic R's to each other. So her, hard, hair, horse, here. So do those for me.
Her, hard, hair, horse, here.
Okay, I like it. Okay, so I like it because I can definitely tell that your tongue's engaged there, and that there's a strong kind of engagement there. So I'm happy with the. It doesn't sound weak to me at all. So let's go through some of the sentences. Okay, so go through the sentence.
I'm curious.
Yeah, go ahead.
Were you able to pick up whether I was using the retroflex R or the bunch R?
A little bit, because yeah, retroflexed R having the tongue kind of up and then the bunched R with the tongue down. There's a little bit of a difference. For me, I say it's not that big of a deal, just because sometimes when I'm hearing kind of that retroflexed R with the tongue a little bit up, it sounds a little hollow, but it's still very easy to understand. Does that make sense?
When I pronounced those 5 words just now, were you able to pick up?
No.
Were you able to differentiate?
No, I couldn't hear the difference between those. No. So I was basically just listening for an engaged kind of tongue versus, because where we really get into problems is if it sounds more like a W or a vowel instead of the R. So whether it's retroflexed or you have that bunched R, bunched tongue, it's not going to be confused with anything else. So if your goal is to sound exactly like a native English speaker, then we'd want to work on that a little bit. But as far as just clarity and being easy to understand and and all of that, I think that either of those are just fine.
All right.
Okay, so let's go ahead and I want to hear some of these sentences from you. So will the car start this time?
Number 1, will the car start this time?
Okay. So was that more with the retroflex?
Yeah, that was more the retroflex.
Okay. So do it again with more of kind of the bunched.
Oh, that's going to be challenging.
Oh, okay. So is the retroflex what is natural for you?
Yeah, because I can trill my R like so naturally that'll be easier for me to retroflex. But the bunch R is particularly hard for me. Let's try again. Will the car start this time?
Oh, okay. So the first one sounded fine to me, so I would say just go with that one. Whatever kind of feels a little bit more comfortable for you. Okay, do number 2 for me.
Right. Number 2, the North went to war with the South.
Okay, next one.
3, he works a standard 9 to 5 schedule.
Okay, let's do the paragraph. So go ahead and read that paragraph for me.
All right. I hope the car will start in this cold weather. I have been tardy 4 times now in 2 weeks. I really have to be at work on time, especially today. My boss is starting standard evaluations of all employees. I'm nervous that my boss will think I'm a bad worker and fire me. This Thursday, my neighbor Mark will look at the car. I hope he can repair it so I don't have to keep being tardy to work.
Okay, so the ones, the AR and the OR are the ones that I can tell are a little bit, you have to really concentrate to kind of get your mouth going. But the other ones sound very natural, just kind of, they come a lot easier. So it's a matter of just getting them to be a little bit more kind of easier to get your mouth in position, and that just comes with practice. So car start, car start, car start, car start, just kind of car start tardy mark, kind of repeating a few of those and making sure that you can do it faster and faster. Okay.
Right. I'll try repeating like the mantra you did. Car start, tardy work, tardy work.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, do that and it'll kind of just come, it'll start coming a little bit easier for you as you repeat just a few words of those ARs and then those ORs too. All right, but I really like what I'm hearing because there's a nice engaged R. It doesn't sound weak to me, and it just it's more now just a matter of getting faster at it, so it doesn't. When you come to a word with an AR or an OR or something, that you don't kind of have to pause so much on it.
All right.
Okay.
How was my pace when I read the paragraph? Was it okay? Was it too slow?
So I think that you could speed up a little bit more now because I think that you're getting your mouth in position for a lot of these sounds really, really well. And so now it's just a matter of getting faster so so you can get the rhythm a little bit more natural. Okay, so try it a little bit faster, just the first two sentences there.
Right. I hope the car will start in this cold weather. I've been tardy 4 times now in 2 weeks.
Okay, much
I really
better.
have.
Yeah, so that was much better. So practice with that pace where you can kind of get a little bit faster and a little bit more comfortable with that rhythm. Because once you kind of focus, because we talk about kind of zooming in on the sounds and we were working on those R's, and then we zoom out and kind of focus on, okay, how can we get that to sound a little bit more, like the rhythm and the flow of it. And so that second time when you did it, it became more of that natural way of speaking. And that's where I want you to really focus your practice, okay?
Okay.
All right, excellent. Good job, Charlie. Okay, Albert, let's see. Okay, so Albert's asking, any particular suggestions to English speakers with Chinese as native language? Okay, so let me think. Chinese as a native language tends to be more of, here, let me actually unmute you so we can kind of talk about this. Albert, you there?
Yep.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. So tell me, are you kind of in the U.S. or are you somewhere else?
I'm in Canada.
Oh, you're in Canada. Okay. So how long have you been in Canada?
14 years.
Okay. Well, good. So tell me what part of the program you're in right now.
So actually, I work in the oil and gas industry. So in the company, sometimes I need to make presentations and also to handle lots of meetings. Anyway, I would like just, I can sometimes feel I have people say, oh, it's a Chinese accent. So my question is, whether any particular specific suggestions, for example, the valley and pig and where to stretch a word.
Okay, so yeah, that's exactly, I think you nailed it. The few things that I seem to really work on with my Chinese students is the L's, the N's, the R's. So the L, N, and R tend to be a little bit more challenging to get the mouth in the right position and being able to link and connect those very fluidly. Okay, so making sure that those all link and connect. And then like you said, there's such a different rhythm in Chinese than there is in English. So those kind of peaks and valleys, that rhythm of kind of stressing keywords and then unstressing and stressing and unstressing and making it flow like that is kind of more of the challenge for Chinese speakers to kind of adopt that line of thinking. So what I want you to focus on is as you get those L's and N's and R's, and that's one thing, the L's at the end of the word, you want to, and linking those, make sure you really concentrate on those L's, okay? And then linking. So linking is like the secret weapon for the rhythm, okay? So when you think of linking, just think of, okay, I'm going to connect my words, because especially with kind of my Chinese speakers is that there's a little bit of like a, cutting apart words and a little bit of a break between a lot of words. And unless there's a pause or some kind of emphasis on a word, most of our words are connected, okay? So to get that flow and to get that nice rhythm, a lot of times it's just focusing on linking.
That's right. Because normally people speak Chinese word by word, but for English, when you speak, it's a sentence. So you have to make the full sentence quite smooth.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. I practiced, I believe, week 1.
Okay.
I tried the 3 tips. They are awesome, especially for the mouth move and make the clear sound.
Yes. Yes, that makes a big difference. So are you just in week 1 right now?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Because as you go through, next week you'll get into the TH sound, and that'll be important, especially the voiceless TH sound. So focus on that in week 2. Week 3, you'll get into the R's. And then week 4, I think, is L's and N's. So just in the next few weeks, you'll really concentrate on the most important sounds for you. And you'll also start getting into that rhythm and how to use that rhythm along with it. Okay?
All right.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Albert.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so Sunny, I'll come back to you with the TH sound. Okay, so Lee, let me go ahead. Lee, you there? Let's see if we can get your microphone. Lee? Okay, it looks like your microphone isn't quite working yet, but I'll leave you unmuted in case you can get it working. Lee is asking if you can show me the difference between a voiceless S and a voiced Z sound and when to use them. So this is a great question. It seems to come up quite a bit in the bonus lessons of the website, of the Pronunciation Pro website. There's an S and Z worksheet there, and actually let me pull that up right here. So basically, there's not a very clear definition of when to use the voiceless S sound and when to use the voiced Z sound. Basically, the kind of one rule we kind of come to says, let's see, S is more of a light Z sound in some common words when the S follows a vowel, okay? So when the S follows a vowel, vowels are voiced. So a lot of times what happens is our voice stays on and creates this light Z sound. So here are some of the most common words that have that Z sound at the end. Is, rise, pose. Okay, so I'm going to leave you, Lee, in case you can get your microphone working, I'll leave you unmuted. But if anybody wants to try this, then go ahead and raise your hand, and I'll have you kind of work through this. A lot of my Spanish speakers, this is very difficult to get that Z sound at the end. So basically, the S sound is going to be voiceless. The Z sound is going to be voice, and Z. So in the very week 1 of the lesson, you kind of you learn about the difference between voiced and voiceless sounds. So the voiced sounds are going to get that your throat vibrating. So zzz, and the S sound, same mouth position, but just your throat won't vibrate. So Desiree, let's get you doing these. Desiree, you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here, Annie.
Hello, good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, so I know we have worked on these S and Z sounds together. So go ahead and go ahead and show them how it's done, Desiree, with that Z sound. Okay.
I am example in Spanish speaker, so maybe I hope that I can do it correctly.
Okay, just engage that throat. Okay.
Yes. Is, rise, pose, eyes, confuse, easy, says, was, rise, rose, ties, these, reason, days, his, lose, mouse, flies, those, movies, shoes, has, use, flows, goodbyes, because, visit, and busy.
Okay, do that one and the last one. Busy.
Busy.
Okay, good. Okay, so you did a perfect example of kind of that light Z, because it's not is with like a really obvious Z sound. It's carrying over the voice from the vowel, but then it kind of drops off a little bit. So what we don't want is is, but doing is, and it kind of drops off into a voiceless sound, but we carry that voiced into it. So for Spanish speakers, for all of those of you who are struggling with this, what I want you to do is overemphasize the Z until you can engage that throat. And then you can kind of tone it down a little bit. So like with Desiree, we really emphasized it the first time we were working on it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we were kind of overdoing it where you kind of felt like you were just doing it it was too strong, right?
Yeah.
But then as you got more comfortable with that voice, then you were able to kind of tone it down.
Yes, that's correct.
That's good. Okay, well, good. Thank you, Desiree.
Thank you to you, Annie.
All right, Angelo, I'm going to unmute you. Angelo, you there?
Yes.
Okay, so I saw your hand up. Was that in volunteering for this one or for something else?
I'm sorry. I didn't find oh, let me see. Okay.
Oh.
I'm here.
Okay, well, would you like to go through these and kind of try that S and Z or that final Z sound?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead for me.
Okay. Ease, rise, pause, eyes, confuse.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. I want a little bit more Z sound. So is. There you go. There's that voice. Okay. Rise.
Rise.
Okay, a little bit more. Yeah. Pose.
Eyes.
There you go.
Okay. Confuse. Thank you. Easy.
Okay.
Said.
A little bit more on easy. Easy.
Easy.
Perfect.
Easy. Says. Was. Rise. Rose. Ties. These.
Okay, get that TH sound in place. These.
These.
There you go.
Okay. Reason. Theys. His. Lose.
Okay, I'm going to stop you on the his. Let's get a short I. His.
His.
Because we want to contrast, and I don't know what week of the program you're in, or what week are you in right now?
Okay. His.
Yeah, so you want that short I, so you want the difference between his and he's, right? Okay.
His.
Perfect, yep.
Is. Lose. Lose.
Lose.
Lose. Mouse.
So this one's Mo's.
Mouse. Okay. Mouse. Flies. Those. Movies. Shoes. Has. Use. Close. Goodbyes. Because. Visit and busy.
A little bit more on that busy.
Busy.
Good. Okay, so the most important one is and his to get more of the S sound, because if you don't do that, the Z sound, because if you don't do the Z sound, it'll sound like is and hiss. Okay? Is and hiss versus is and his. And most of it is emphasizing the voice in the vowel. Okay? So once we really get that vowel strong, then the Z sound will really follow. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Great job, Angelo. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good. Let's see. Shatu, let's see. Shatu, you there? Let's see, Shatu. I don't know if your microphone's working. We'll leave you unmuted just in case. So Shatu is asking, could you tell me how I can improve my reading skills and and could you tell me some rules of linking and pausing between the words? Okay, so for reading skills, so there's a difference between, and this is kind of where I differentiate myself from a regular English teacher, is there's a kind of learning English and learning pronunciation fluency. Okay, pronunciation really has to do with, it's kind of a muscle, kind of having to do with the muscles and the mouth and kind of how to project your voice and using your voice in a way that is going to be nice and strong and clear. Okay, then we have in a separate category, I kind of categorize them. English, the English language. So there's grammar, vocabulary, reading, writing, all of these different skills that go along with learning the English language. Now, I'm not an English language teacher, and I don't ever profess to be the expert in that. So kind of the reading skills kind of fall into that category where I don't have a lot of expertise there. You know, my advice on that is to kind of either work with an English teacher or just read and read and read and read and practice. Okay, so that's the biggest thing for me is when you practice reading, you get better at reading. You know, no matter what your skill level is, the more you do it, the better you get. So like with our kids, you know, it's always, how do you get to be a better reader? Well, you read more. Reading, following along with an audio, kind of an audio book where it's reading it to you and you're looking at the book can help, so that you're actually hearing the pronunciation and be able to see the print in front of you. But that's kind of that category where I feel like I'm not as qualified to give too much advice. Now, when it comes to linking and pausing, that's in my realm there. So rules of linking and pausing, we've talked about, so in weeks 6 and 7, 6 or 7 of the program, we talk about linking and pausing. So linking, there's specific rules that are attached to that in terms of when you're linking a vowel to vowel versus a vowel to consonant and a consonant to consonant. Okay, so there's different ways that your mouth has to transition between those different sounds. So you'll definitely get that into week 7. So those it's kind of hard to go through all those rules right now. But basically, as you link or you connect words together, there creates that flow to your speech. So linking becomes very important, just like I was saying earlier, is that rhythm of English becomes very fluid and you start getting those peaks and valleys in your speech when you concentrate on linking and connecting those words together. And that just comes with, you know, practice, being able to make sure that you're moving from one sound to the next without a break in between. Now with pausing, there is appropriate pausing. So there's times where you want to pause for emphasis, or you pause because you've completed a thought. Okay, so those are appropriate times to pause. And we go through some of those in the program. With linking and pausing, watch one of the TED Talk videos that I've kind of given you in the program, or just go to any TED Talk video. So TED.com is a website, if you haven't gotten to that part of the program, where there are a lot of really great speakers that talk on a variety of topics. Very interesting speakers, but they're really good examples of how to do public speaking. And they're really good examples of the rhythm of English, because they have to really emphasize and stress, you know, their words and their concepts to engage the audience. And so they are a really good example of kind of connecting words together and pausing for emphasis. And so notice where they're pausing and where they're connecting and how they're connecting words together. So there's a lot more of that connection that happens in English. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Satu says, oh, the audio is not connected. Okay, so Lee, I actually have so I'm just moving on to the next question, but Chatu, hopefully that answers your question. We weren't able to get the audio connected, but hopefully that helps. And Lee, I have you unmuted, so if the microphone's working, then I should be able to hear you. So I'll continue to leave that open, and if I hear you, then we can kind of talk. All right, so Sunny, let's go ahead and get back to your question, since I'm kind of down to the bottom with the question. So if anybody else has any questions, let me know, and we'll go through them together. And I'll jump back to Sunny and kind of answer some questions there. So So Sunny, let me unmute you. Hi there, Sunny.
Hi.
All right, let's go ahead and let me go over to student workbook and pull up the TH sentences.
So Andrew is saying that I always pronounce it like the D sound instead of the TH sound. And she wants me to make it longer instead of saying the D sound.
So if you know if it's the voiced or voiceless sound, is this the voice?
Yeah, the voice.
Voiced, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the voiced TH sound.
For the initial, yes.
Okay, so go through those practice words for me.
Sorry.
Can you see them?
Yes.
Okay.
This, that, the, them, they, those, these, they, the, die.
Okay, so so getting it into the, I would say loosen up your, because your teeth are on your tongue, right?
Yeah.
So loosen up your teeth on your tongue a little bit so that there's a little bit more kind of airflow there. It's still going to be touching, but you don't need to be like biting down on it because we want it.
Yeah.
We want it to make sure that it's not this, where there's like a really strong burst to it. We want it to be more of a flow. So this. So try actually holding it out a little bit and see if that works. So this.
This.
So this. It makes your lips like tingle because of the vibration. That. So loosening it up a little bit will kind of help get a little bit more of that vibration. That. Okay, so let's get into the sentences. I want to hear it and kind of, in more connected. So this car belongs to them.
This car belongs to them.
Okay. The girls spend all of their time playing.
The girls spend all of their time playing.
Okay. Do the next one for me.
Wait for them over there.
Okay, a little bit looser. Wait for them over there.
Wait for them over there.
Okay, good. Next one.
Then why don't they come?
Okay. Then why don't they come? Let's get that rhythm. Then why don't they come?
Then why don't they come?
Okay.
Why don't they come?
Then why don't they come? So I'm emphasizing why and come. Then why don't they come?
Then why don't they come? They come.
There you go. They come. Then why don't they come?
Then why don't they come?
Perfect. Okay. Good. I want to let me see. Okay, so go ahead into the practice paragraph. So what I'm hearing from you is more like I'm hearing it fine, like but it's just it's not as automatic for you, and so that just takes more practice to get that tongue so that it's comfortable in that position. Okay.
Yeah. So when I put my tongue there, I don't know what sound's coming out. If I try to have the tongue, but like the sound's not coming with how it's supposed to pronounce. Is it the TH supposed to the buzzing sound?
Yeah, it's kind of a buzzing. That voice sound kind of has that buzz to it. And if your mouth is in the right position and you have it so that it's not so tight, because when it sounds so tight, when it's so tight, it has more of instead of a buzz, it has kind of a popping sound. That. Whereas that has more of that buzz sound to it.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that it's light enough that it has that little buzz.
Maybe can I not to put my tongue out, like just say it normally? Will I able to produce that sounds?
Okay, so do it, kind of start reading the practice paragraph with it just kind of normal, the way you normally would do.
Okay. I often tell my clients to repeat the word this, that, and those in order to practice this sound. If they practice these 3 words over and over again, they will learn to say them correctly.
Okay,
If
so is
they
your tongue's between your teeth, right?
yes, but it's not out, and then
Yeah.
I'm not trying to emphasize it.
Yeah, so I think it sounds great. I don't think there's any problem there. I think that there might be some sounds every once in a while where your tongue's too far in and it starts sounding like a D or a, or something like that. But I think I think it sounds pretty natural, the way you just did it. Now, I did not hear the ending sounds in words and clients. Okay. So that's the place to kind of get. So I want to hear those first 2 sentences with all the ending sounds on there and linked. Okay.
I often tell my clients to repeat the word this, that,
the words,
this, that, and these in order to practice these sounds. If they practice these 3 words over and over again, they will learn to say them correctly.
All right, good.
Yes.
All right, good. And then the other question that you had, is there any way that we can connect with other students in your class? So this is a question I actually want to open up to some of you in case you have any suggestions. So we've been kind of throwing around ideas of how we might be able to do this because there has been some interest from some of our students of just being able to practice with each other while you're going through it. We started a Facebook group at some point, but then it became hard to regulate who was getting into the group based on their membership and things like that. So that became tricky. But if any of you, especially anyone who has kind of an IT understanding, whether we have just kind of a place on the website to where people can kind of write in their Skype address or something if they're interested in connecting with people, or we're just not sure. We've kind of thrown around some ideas but haven't come up with a really solid something to move forward with. So I don't know if you have any suggestions, Sunny, or if we can just open that up to others. But if anybody has ideas of how to do this, go ahead and email me and let me know how you think kind of it would work.
I would like to know what's the problem with the Facebook initial start.
Just being able the time it required to kind of see, okay, are they an active member or not? And so we would get requests from the group to get into the group, and then we'd have to check the record to see who's a member and who's not, and it got really time intensive to be able to check that. But I think if it's on the website, we have a kind of a central place on the Pronunciation Pro website that says that is just a way for you to find each other and kind of connect with each other. I don't know. Have you used a Facebook page where there's a little bit more of that?
No, I'm trying to search because I think on one of your webinar it mentioned that. I kind of searched, so I only see you in Facebook, not the yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I am not IT. So I mean, if we had a email that we can send or collect with other students that come from the same culture or that we can the same struggle, will be helpful.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to know that, and especially if we can kind of connect. If we have a name and some kind of a contact information, and then where your native language or something like that, so that you can find people who are a good fit, and it would be voluntary, so that anyone who is interested in working with some other students of Pronunciation Pro, that they can volunteer some of that information to connect with others. So I actually have a meeting with my IT guy today, so we're going to talk through some of those and see if we can kind of get that, at least even that just initiated where we have a central place. So so we'll work on getting that. So thanks, Sunny.
Great.
Sounds like from other people that's what they're wanting too. So glad we had a chance to talk about that.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Sunny. Okay, okay, Khalid, let's see. Khalid, you there?
Yes.
All right, you want to do the practice paragraph?
Yep.
Okay, so is that TH sound? Is it the voice TH sound that you're working on?
Yeah. So first of all, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad.
Good. Tell me what your native language is.
Gosh, Arabic.
Arabic. Okay, that gives me a little bit of an idea as you get started. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I often tell my clients to repeat the words this, that, and these in order to practice this sound. If they practice these 3 words over and over again, they will learn to say them correctly. If they forget to practice these words, then I can't promise them success in their English pronunciation. Those who follow the directions on their homework will find out for themselves how quickly they can change their speech habits.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, that was wonderful. So the TH sound sounded great. Your other sounds were sounding nice and crisp and clear. I can tell you're moving your mouth. You're at a very good pace, which created a very nice rhythm to your speech. I can tell that you're doing a good job of controlling that R, but do you have the tendency of kind of rolling it a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, so but I liked that you were controlling it so well. You were controlling it really well and getting that nice strong R that was nice and smooth. So that's perfect. So how does it? So with reading, you sound very nice and clear. How does it transfer into kind of conversational English? Are you finding that that's the trick, that's the struggle, or are you able to kind of hear the improvement in your conversation?
Well, I think, I mean, your class is very helpful. It helped me a lot. And I really thank you so much for the effort you put on the videos and all that thing. It's really great idea. It helped a lot. I wish I know about your program 10 years ago.
Oh.
That would help me a lot. But and I don't live really in the States now. I live overseas. But, you know, I use English a lot. And, you know, especially sometimes I speak with the country people. They make me repeat a lot. So that's why, especially from the States. So it's really great. Thank you so much again. I want to thank you again for your program and for everything and for the email when you reply to me when I have any question. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So that was good to actually kind of hear you speaking too, because it does sound like it's carrying over in your conversation. So you want to make sure that you maintain that just kind of moving your mouth and speaking at that nice pace so that you can be better understood. You said that some people are having a hard time understand you from different areas, and it would just be a matter of, I think for you, kind of emphasizing those key words as you're speaking and slowing down on those key ideas and key phrases. That's what I find to be most helpful when someone is not able to understand as well, is if you emphasize and stress those key words, then it becomes more clear so that they can kind of pull out the most important information very clearly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. But you're doing great, and I'm glad the program has been helping so much. And yeah, just keep practicing and moving it into conversation and practicing those ideas, especially the rhythm and the emphasis, okay?
Yeah.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Perfect. All right, good. Well, we're at about an hour, and we got through all of the questions today that were here. So I'm so glad you all could make it today. Let me go ahead and jump back over to let's see here. Okay, so for anyone who has other questions that you're wondering about, I've loved how you've been asking a lot of questions in the comments section of each of the videos, because that is great to get your question answered, but then others can also see those questions and those answers and get help that way. So there's been a lot of questions asked, so definitely use that as a resource, because sometimes you're thinking, oh, I don't even know what to ask as you get started. And a lot of that has, a lot of people have asked great questions on the site already. But then if you have any other questions, definitely email me and we can address those. Now, I do these webinars every 2 weeks, so please come again. As you have questions and as you need help and feedback on things, the more active you are in asking questions in these, the more you'll get out of them, because I'm here for you right at this time, and it's fun to be able to interact with all of you as you're going through the program. So we're all here to help any way that we can, so don't hesitate to ask. All right. Well, thank you so much. Happy spring. I hope everybody's enjoying this time of year, and I hope you have a great rest of the week. Okay, so I have one question. Sunny is asking, can I have access to the TED Talk program? So it's not necessarily a program. It's basically just through the course. I've used some of the TED Talks just to kind of emphasize some of the ideas that I'm talking about. So, so Sunny, I'm not sure what week of the program you're in, but I think the second half of the 6-week or the 12-week program is when some of those TED Talk videos show up. And then especially in the alumni course, I use a lot of the TED Talks. Oh yeah, so Sunny says he's in week 5. So you'll start seeing a few more of these TED Talks later in the program, and especially in the alumni course. And if you go to TED.com, there's hundreds and hundreds of videos there that you can access. So good question. All right, thank you. Have a great day. Bye.